1017 FM, 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Aaron McCarty, guests on Keel, are heard via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker Hotline. Joining us once again, the President, CEO, Head Guy, Louisiana Association of Business and Industry, Mr. Stephen Waguespack. Hey, Wags, welcome back to Keel. How you been?
Man, been well. Been too long. How you been?
Aaron's frantically waving down there, and we'll get to her in a second or two. But when are you going to be back up this way? Because the day that you co-hosted with me, we may kick Aaron out. It was one of the most awesome radio days of all time.
Yeah, I have a couple days coming up, by the way.
When are you going to be back up this way? Anything in the near future, perhaps?
You know, give me a time and a place, and I'll be there. But you know, I've been grinding in election hole bunker the last couple of weeks. But I'll come out and see the sunshine pretty soon and head up that way as soon as I can.
How many travel miles do you do a year? Do you have any idea?
No, I have no idea. I mean, the awesome thing about Louisiana is you can get around this state pretty easily. I mean, I can get up in the morning, drop my kids off at school, and go visit members all around the state, and usually be home at night. So, the good and bad of being in a small state is, you know, there's certain limitations we have with our population size and all that stuff. But the good part is, you really can see this whole state in one day and get it anywhere I need to get. And I take advantage of that.
Okay, Lobby endorsed on your page. It says you endorsed Abraham Rasponi prior to the election.
Rasponiham.
Rasponiham. Now you're all in for Rasponi, I assume.
That's right. Yeah, no, we're fully endorsing Eddie Rasponi. Look, we love both those guys, and you know, Ralph ran such a good race. He's such a man of integrity and honor. His team did a great job, and you know, that was a hard fought effort, and both of them would have been great leaders, and so we're proud to stand with Eddie Rasponi right now, and feel like he's in really good shape to win this thing in the runoff.
Wags, I'm hearing that the governor's really going to go, or the PACs are going to go really hard at Rasponi for things like possibly hiring illegals, for all kinds of deals that he made with Jindal, for all sorts of things. How nasty is this going to get? Mr. Roy Fletcher's saying $20 million is going to be spent between now and November 16th in the governor's race alone.
Well, you know, it's possible that much will be spent, but I will tell you the first part of your question, I fully expect the governor to go very nasty, very personal. I think you saw his first ad for the runoff came out yesterday. He started that on his own, with his own voice and his own picture, and he'll have his PACs doing that as well. They're going to throw everything they can against the wall because for the last year or two, they've been trying to convince the state, like, look, everything's great. Let's not mess up how great things are. Reelect me. And the voters went to the poll and said, what are you talking about? Things are not great. We've got problems. And you're sitting here telling us everything is awesome. So he knows his message of trying to convince people that the problems that they see don't really exist didn't work. And so now they're going to have to go to plan B, which is, you know, smear and trash, you know, Eddie and anyone close to Eddie. And so I think voters are going to see through it. I think it's going to reek of desperation. And I think every piece of mud they throw, some of it's going to, you know, splatter on themselves along the way.
If Eddie Rasponi sits down with you and says, what's the best way to get at John Bel Edwards? What's the biggest criticism I should fire at him right now? What would you tell Mr. Rasponi?
I would tell Eddie to keep doing what you're doing. Keep talking about what you stand for and why you are an outsider who wants to try something different. You're subject to no special interest. You stand on your own two legs. I think stay on your message. I think when people throw mud at you in a campaign, it's very tempting to throw mud back. I think the voters are saying, you know what, we're not going to fall for that, and instead we want to hear about you. I think Eddie's done a good job of explaining the type of man he is. And, you know, I've known him a long time, and he is a man of integrity. He has built that company from scratch, from his kitchen table. He takes care of his employees extremely well. Those folks that work for him would die for him. And so he's got a great personal story to tell of growing up poor and making something of himself and his company and sharing that, you know, that bounty with everyone that's come around him. I think he needs to stay true to his message. And the governor throwing mud will say all that, you know, folks need to see about the governor, I think.
Alan Seabaugh was here on Monday, and he was sort of reviewing across the state the legislative races. And he used the term unhesitatingly red wave. You agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, look, voters went to the poll and they spoke clearly and loudly. They said that they want a legislature that's going to come in and provide conservative solutions to our problem. They're tired of seeing things like taxes being the only solution to any problem we have. They're tired of things like lawsuits being protected and defended. I mean, look, there's no secret. Some of the races in your backyard, this issue of car insurance and trial lawyers protecting their little, kingdom in the laws to protect their settlements, that absolutely had a huge impact in, Barry Milligan's big win. And I think it had a huge impact in the fact that Robert Mills got such a high percentage in his race. And I think Robert Mills is extremely set up well to win in the runoff. And that is because voters are not stupid. They see that legislators go to Baton Rouge, they say one thing at home, and they go to Baton Rouge, and they support higher taxes and more lawsuits, and they're tired of the game, and they want change. And so I think that lawsuit issue, especially when it comes to car insurance rates, I think people are now awake to this issue. And across the state, when this car insurance issue was brought up, voters responded extremely well. And that's why I think Robert Mills is in such a good, strong position in the runoff, because he has made it clear he is not going to go down there and vote for more lawsuits to chase away oil and gas, to drive up car insurance rates. He is going to do the exact opposite, and voters want that all across the state, and I think in Bossier it's no different.
Put on your, not Carnac, let's say your Wagnac hat.
All right.
Wagnac. Man.
All right.
All right.
Sorry.
Who wins the governor's race? Give me the percentages.
Oh, I'm so bad at percentages. I do think Eddie is well suited in a runoff. I think he's going to win. It depends on turnout. What's going to drive local elections. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say Eddie's going to win with somewhere around 52.